What is going on, guys? It's Honey Jefe here. It's about 2:30. It's April the 26th. Temp's supposed to be 67 to 85 degrees, something like that. I'm out here at my Savannah apiary. I've got 6 NUCs or six splits. I want to see if I can move any of them to boxes. I added 3 supers the other day. I think I recorded me doing 2 supers. I didn't bring a third one for the hive. That, obviously needed the super, in my opinion. So I came out here and put the super on there. Anyway, I've got a bunch of boxes out here already. I got a few bottoms. I bought some extra bottoms and tops in case all these NUCs, if all 6 of them need a box, then I could probably do at least. I could probably do all of them. Yeah, I think I could. I got some tops out here as well, and I bought some extra ones. I have not looked at the front of these hives yet. I drive up from behind the hives, the apiary, and so I'm excited to see what I got here. I think one of the challenges that I have the boxes, the NUCs. I'm using the term interchangeably, the NUCs and the splits. It's just where I have them located, because if I put them in a box, that's not where I want them to stay. I should have moved them or set them out there initially, but when I dropped them off, I didn't have it set up on the 4x4s that I have now, where I have the extra boxes at. And so it might be a little bit of a challenge, but maybe not that big a deal. So let's see what I got here. That's a smoker here. I got it going here. I used some compressed boards. I got some wood chips in there. And I'll grab some flowers. Over here. I'm going to show y'all the fields of purple clover. Now I do the plant identifier app. I love that app, but when I show it these flowers, this clover, it says it's red clover, but it's also called purple clover. So this is the first place I've ever seen purple clover. My favorite flower of all time is the crimson clover, and I like the white clover too. So last year, or maybe the year before, when I discovered that this was clover, I was very happy. So I will show some of the purple clover behind my apiary there, or behind my beehives. And it's just, for me, it's a pleasant thing. I mean, if you're going to be a beekeeper, you have to learn to appreciate all things. I'm going to slide that down there. I think that it's wet because it's green, right? So it has water. And I think that kind of helps keep ashes from blowing out, or embers. And maybe it picks up the scent. I know people talk about smoking with lavender scent or lilac or whatever, and different various things that the bees tend to calm down. I guess it makes sense, but this is right here by the beehive. I'm gonna put a little bit more. And eventually it does dry up and become part of the fuel. But for now, watch it go out as I'm talking. It kind of makes a nice smoke. I think that filter process here. Let me take, I'm not gonna need this. Got plenty of hive tools in there. I got a bucket full of pellets. There's the water here, and got 5 gallons of that. I got about 5 gallons of this. I got some extra jars and some bee feeders. Got a lot of frames, foundation, comb, bottoms, tops. There, So I also got my Roundup. Got a couple of frame feeders in there. Got some extra gloves. I got some extra boots. I got some off spray that, you know, I usually spray around my socks and shoes and on my legs to keep ticks from getting on me. As you noticed earlier, I got the microphone on my pocket. I need to evaluate that that is actually working the way I hope it is. I should be able to walk away a good distance from the camera source, which is the iPhone, and the volume shouldn't change that much. That's one improvement. Also know now there's a pause button, so when I walk behind, I can at least pause it and carry the camera somewhere else and pick it back up when I'm ready. That should be a positive thing. It's a I don't know, I call that editing, but I call that an improvement from what I normally could do. All right. So I'm not going to carry a bunch of boxes over or frames or anything like that until I look in here and see which hives can be, or which splits can be transferred into boxes. And I'll be thinking out loud when I determine which split can be moved and kind of figuring out where's the best place to put them, because it's not going to be right where they're at most likely. I don't think the bees are moving that much today because it's very cloudy outside, but then again, we are starting the very beginning of the nectar flow. And I'm putting my gloves on. These gloves, by the way, I got the pair from Man Lake. I've got a very similar pair, just with a different labeling from Avis. I like the color of those guys better, but these gloves are great. I can do all kinds of, I've not really been stung through them. They're comfortable, and I can use the iPhone through it for the most part. I got the gauntlet style, so they come up. Let me see here. So far they've been worth it. This is the first season I've used them. Let's see. Alright. I want to try to, it's just a short trip right there. I'm going to put that on there. Let's go. This bucket's going to be, I believe, invaluable. Let me make sure that I'll hit that real quick. Let's see, apparently I dropped or left that on the ground, that feed can. I just call it a feed can. It's feedcans.com. This is the actual website. It's empty. This is somewhat empty. All right. Let's see. So before I do that, look at all that clover. I mean, especially immediately behind the beehives. I mean, isn't that awesome? I want to kind of zoom in a little bit. I didn't zoom in some more. I just think that's cool. That's all the bales of hay. Yeah. Zoom back out. Make sure my veil is on properly. All right, here's my trusty bee sign. Let's see how these guys look. All right, so I see a little activity. Activity doesn't mean a whole lot. Looking in the actual splits, there'll be activity in a hive that's got no living bees in there. So, but I am glad to see activity. Now the hives themselves, the actual doubles with the supers, that looks nice. That one over there looks nice, and the one over there looks nice. The third one over there. The second one looks pretty good though. It's got a lot of activity there. Relatively so. I'm not going to open them up. I may peek in there to see if they are drawing out or bringing in some nectar. They may not be. I believe all those frames have comb. Maybe the hive right here, this one may not have any comb on the frames. I would probably venture to guess that it doesn't, because it's a 10 frame box. I know I have not put the adapter to make it a 9 frame, or as far as these other ones, they probably have 9 or 8 frames in there. They would have comb. I think I would probably put 10 frames of just foundation in that super, just to see if they'll draw it out. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. But my main goal is to transfer any bees from the NUCs to the boxes if they're ready, and feed them, and then hopefully just check and see if these guys are making honey or not. I'm gonna do that. Let's see what the best way to do that is. From which position? I'll start from right here. At least I know I'm in the shot. I'll do the top 2. That way you can look directly in there and see what's going on. And then I'll probably bring the camera behind to see these cardboard nukes here. You notice I got these on, these plastic mats. A few bees on the outside of here. I didn't see, I want to see what I can do without smoking these guys down too much. Okay, I put my last propolis trap right here. Got the hive tool here. That's what it seems like. Maybe I just pulled it out. I don't feel like I did. All right. So on the vented side, it'll be very easy to put these on the opposite side. Alright. So, good looking number of bees here between these frames. Quite a bit of activity on the outside here. I'm gonna pull them out so we can see them. But I'm looking at mostly just foundation on this one frame. I'd like to see them draw it out. You can tell there's a ton of propolis between the frames. That's just because these frames were once in a 9 frame deal, or they weren't pressed together. will scrape them down. See a small hive beetle here. Kill that one. I'm going to irritate it. So, not much going on there. Now, before I start digging in there, I am going to smoke them down now. So I just kind of wanted to see how many bees are at the top when I first open the lid. I think I'm going to start trying to do that in areas where I think I can get away with it. There's nobody out here for a long ways. Not a house next door or a bunch of cows next to me. Of course, the cows next to me, it might be a good time to just let them get stung. But I let the bees run the cows off. That might not be a bad idea, but as far as like horses and goats and things like that, I don't. Or mainly people living here. I don't have to worry about that as much. You hear that little? When you shake them with all the bees, they kind of like buzz at the same time. Not be a exercise in futility here. I see nectar, I don't see eggs. This is the inner side. There's some larvae down there though. So make sure I don't have the queen right here on this frame before I walk over there. Alright, so this is the outside, the side that's facing the outside. So I'm going to flip it up. This is the inside. If I can point to this area right here, there is larvae in there. So based on that, I'm gonna turn it a little bit. That larva looks to be C-shaped, not comma-shaped. So if it was a comma, it just would be smaller. Now it's not taking up as much space in the cell. As it grows, it has to fold itself in more. It comes forth as C, so it's not capped yet. Therefore, I would say it's less than 8 days, older than 2 or 3. That would be a comma shape, right? I'm gonna double check all this. I mean, I'm not, you gotta get all these facts down. I think I see some brood down here. I do. Okay, so that's a positive thing. So what I'm gonna do, this piece of trash right here, so I'm gonna put it on this foundation right there. Okay, there is larva to the left, larva up here to the right, and in the middle you see all that brood. Kind of the same thing. I don't see the queen right offhand. She might be on there, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking. But I don't think these guys are ready to be moved to a box. maybe when this brood hatches, and their population is more dense. Let's see if I can scrape that off a little bit. If it falls down at the bottom, I'm okay with that, but just the propolis. You really should spend your days, but some days in between bee season. I feel like every day is bee season, but there should be some time dedicated by taking all your frames that are not in use and cleaning them off. I can't get those any closer, but see how this outside frame doesn't look too bad over here. Remember, this is just comb. This has comb on one side, at least. Okay, so there's kind of a little bit of feeling, but it's a lot of space for a queen to lay. So honey and nectar right there. And because I can't get this frame up next to that one, it makes it kind of hard for them to, because that's got a lot of brood there too. I'm not going to pull it out, but I want to clean that a little bit. I'll probably just, this is where the enemy of good is better sometimes, but I want to get rid of that space if I can. Alright, I don't know if this actually does anything. I'm just going to kind of smash this down on it. I feel like it does. You may be able to repurpose it a little bit. We'll slide these closer together. Like I can't squeeze this all the way together because the comb is so thick. It's thick because it was in a 9-frame deep. So that kind of stuff just makes it hard to bring it into a 10-frame box, somehow work it in. It's not as obvious with just 5 frames in a NUC. Alright. I want to put this back. Let me sit down for a second. Just kind of listening to them, taking a breather. It's been a long week, it's been a hard week. These guys here. So once these guys all hatch, this will be flowing. They'll be ready for a box. They may not make a lot of extra honey this year, but I'll have more hives. All right, let's look here. This looks pretty good. How does it look? I don't know. Looks like the same over here. lot of bees. Looks like a lot of bees. I mean, I might be a little bit premature in trying to put them in the big box, but maybe we're ready for it. So this is mostly foundation on this side. I'm trying to add to it right here. This nectar, I don't see any larvae. It looks like some, bee bread, maybe. I see new wax, that white wax on top. Oh, I see brood. See if I see a queen over here looking for a place to lay. She is. They need to hurry up and build some comb over there. Larva. Okay, let's look. I see a lot of larvae in those spaces between the cap brood. I don't see the queen anywhere. It's a little pattern there. Not enormous. There's some empty spaces over here. Let's see some larvae down there on the left. Let's see the queen. I see quite a bit of brood down there, so I'm going to leave it. Yeah, I'm going to pause the recording here. Try that feature out and go take a break because it is hot. I'm in the shade and I'm sweating like you. I want to make sure I get plenty of water. All right. Let's try this feature out.